Good morning and welcome to Thursday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I had to think there for a moment. What day of the week is it? It's Thursday. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I'm pleased with the card that we have for today. I think it will be a framework for some conversations that probably need to happen, and kind of going back to our common ground conversations, which there should be some new ones up and posted, so look for those. But was going back and forth text messaging with my brother and pausing between my responses. I mean, text certainly isn't the best way to communicate about stuff where opinions are involved. But trying to figure out, so I was doing some journaling before I jumped on here too, trying to figure out how do I communicate about things where I have an opinion and I know the other person's opinion is different, and kind of revving up my taking the war out of our words learnings. Good morning, Jo Neal. Welcome. I was just mentioning common ground conversations and that we have some new material up and running now. So glad that these pieces are coming together, and this is the stuff that I think is going to need to happen. These conversations that are uncomfortable. So I'll just give you a flavor of the one that occurred between my brother and me. He had called yesterday, and he doesn't usually call me, so I texted that I was in a meeting and couldn't take his call. And good morning, Cindy. Welcome. Glad you're here. And so he sent a message back, good morning, Abigail, glad you're here, just saying that he wanted to lament that his property taxes had gone up $1,100. And I responded, good morning, Beth, that I believe, given circumstances, that that's likely to continue and that it would be good to be prepared for that. So then I made a comment about being concerned how the incoming administration and the changes they're saying they're going to make are going to impact my housing project. If 60% of the wooden building materials come from Canada and he's going to slap a huge tariff on Canadian products, that's really going to affect the building industry in the US in a not good way. And so my brother sent back a comment about, well, then you just buy American. And I sat and thought and responded as thoughtfully as I could with, you don't snap your fingers and put infrastructure into place, rail systems, factories, all the things that would be necessary to ratchet the lumber industry back up in the US. Yeah. So, and he sent back a very thoughtful reply, and then he sent back a thing, note my attempt to be positive here. And I'm like, so now I'll need to go back and applaud him for remaining positive. That was good. That was good. So the struggle that's involved in working to communicate, and I had a few minutes before I died last night to read some sections of the Chalice and the Blade book. And as I'm reading this historical perspective on masculinity and femininity, I can see where we're going to be going for the next little chunk of time. And maybe it's not going to be a little chunk of time, but that the position she was taking in this particular chapter was that when we start to hear and read and see a lot of the warlike language in a variety of places, politics, etc., which we certainly are, Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Welcome. That typically that precedes a very warlike period of time in history. And then when we start to see more of the languaging that's in the divine feminine, that usually precedes a time that's more peaceful. So, yeah, kind of girding our loins, as it were. Good morning, Catherine. Glad you're here. Welcome. And I actually, a couple of years ago, I looked up that phrase. What did that mean? Girding your loins. And basically what the gist of it is when warriors went into battle, they wrapped their skirts up around their waist so that everything, they could run, they could, whatever. That was girding your loins. I thought that was quite interesting. Another war reference, right? Yeah, everywhere. So, for today, we have the Sacred Forest deck by Denise Lynn. So let's take some breaths, just kind of settling in. Nice breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. It feels so good to take a deep breath. In through the nose. Good morning, Tara. Out through the mouth. Allowing yourself to focus in right here, right now. A few moments just for yourself. Breathe in. Breathe out. And our card today is about grace. And given the conversations that we're all going to be having in the next little while with the holidays coming up, continuing. And again, I want to put a plug in for our Common Ground Conversations posts because we're talking about that. Some of these were filmed during the Thanksgiving season, and we've got some chunks that we've just posted, so definitely hunt those up because we're talking about what's going on right now. So, Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace. Wise Woman of the Grove. Now I want you to note, so there's the little box with a ruby in it, and there's the Wise Woman of the Grove. I love that she looks like an indigenous woman. I think that's awesome. Totally fits. Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace. Another breath. Let it go. The Wise Woman of the Grove steps forward and hands you an intricately carved wooden box. This is my gift to you. Guard it well. With care, you open the box. Inside rests a perfect ruby. It sparkles in the light. This is a joy activator, she says. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you are here. Hold it to your heart, and all around you in all directions, all beings will relax and find joy in the moment. Joy is the great gift that you can give another. It is a gift of grace. So when I read that part, it brought me back to one of the Tosha Silver stories, where a bunch of people, it was holidays, and a bunch of people were standing in line at the post office, and the line was not moving. And so she was irritable, but she shifted her state. She shifted her state into radiating love and joy to the line. And not only did people start perking up a bit, but help came to the people at the front of the line who were having the problem so that the line began to move again. What if we all did that this holiday season? What if when we're stuck in traffic, we're waiting in line, we're sitting in the waiting room and our appointment is delayed because they're way behind schedule, etc., etc., etc. What if we just sat there? Let's do it now, do it now, do it now. The Din Din Club, do it now, do it now. Rub your hands together. Good morning, Diane. Glad you are here. And just send energy to all the fraught areas of life, to all the people who are irritable, to all the serving people who have to deal with the irritable people, to the people who aren't paid nearly enough to put up with the guff that they get day to day, especially around the holidays, sending out good energy. We can do this anytime, anywhere. but sending good grace energy, joy energy to our beleaguered masses. Just sending it out. And you might think about certain people who are kind of like, I think about my sister and her family who are going to be navigating airports to come and celebrate Dad's 90th birthday. Just sending good energy, that things go smoothly, that we all can take a breath and be kind to each other. And even in the face of someone else's unkindness or unconscious crappy behavior, sending good energy. So someone blows your doors off on the road, bless them on their way, send them good energy. We can do this anytime, anywhere. So, grace. Let's continue. When this card chooses you, there it is. When this card chooses you, you are at the advent, it is advent, of a remarkable time of ease, wisdom, healing, joy, and inspiration. Your ability to hear the voices of spirit is rapidly expanding. Spirit guardians are watching over you with immense love and kindness. Good morning, Robin. Glad you are here. We have Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace, today. And you can see her in the woods there. Being in the state of grace means being blessed by divine forces. And again, means that we're spreading that grace to others. When we move through life in a grace-filled way, it helps so many others. Grace can mean having enough inner nobility that even if you know your opinion is absolutely right, you don't push the point. You are willing to drop it, knowing that in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Besides, the Creator knows the truth of the situation, even if others don't. And perhaps someone not knowing the truth of the situation is an integral part of their walk. And again, we don't want to disrupt someone else's walk. It could be, again, I'm going to go back and pull on taking the war out of your words. It could be saying, would you like to hear my thoughts on this? If you get a no, let it go. Let it go. It does not pay. When someone is telling you, my mind is closed to anything other than what I already have in there, believe them. Believe them. Let it go. All right. There are times to be abruptly, starkly honest, but this isn't one of them. The Christmas dinner table isn't one of them, all right? Be diplomatic and gracious in your interactions with others. Speak with love and kindness. So it could be saying, if someone's pontificating at the Christmas table, it could be saying, well, I have some other thoughts on that, but maybe you and I can set up a coffee and do this outside of the Christmas table. Pass the mashed potatoes. Whatever works, whatever works. The spirit of the Wise Woman of the Grove says, you can relax and let go. Your path is guided. Spiritual nobility is growing within you. It's kind of that sovereign thing. We were talking about that on the Tony Robbins thing yesterday. The various archetypes that there are. The magician, the joker, the sovereign, like king or queen. What else did we have? We had lots of stuff. Anywho, that there's an immature version of those and there's a mature version of those. So I'll just take the sovereign, for example. The immature version of the sovereign is the one who lords it over the subjects and what's in it for me and how do I make all of you pay for me kind of a deal. The mature sovereign is, these are my people. What can I do to take care of them? I'm blessed with so much because I'm the sovereign. How do I take care of my community? Can you see the difference? So you can look at people in our political world, in our wherever, and you can see who are the ones who are in that mature sovereign and who are the ones who are still in that immature sovereign. Is what it is. So let's see. The spirit of grace is softly unfolding in your life. So what that tells me is it's not coming in with a bang. It's not manifesting loudly. So we need to discern. And there again is that, I'll make the point for the value of stillness, for taking some time just to be quiet so that you can notice this stuff. You can notice this grace beginning to bubble to your surface. Kindly honor the truth of others, even if you don't agree or if you know better. The Creator knows the truth. The Creator knows the truth. Allow people to be where they're at. If you're thinking, man, you are in disillusionville, let it be. Let it be. Again, as I said, perhaps that's an integral part of their path. Let them walk it. Let them walk it. So, love to hear some comments on this. Grace. And I get a, thank you, Cindy, for posting. I appreciate it. I get a visual. It's a shoulders back and down thing. It's a head up thing. Stepping into your grace. Stepping into your grace and your gratitude. And see what happens. Have an awesome Thursday. I get to have a coffee today, get to do some fun stuff. This is good. So I wish you a happy Thursday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.